What's up, everybody? I'm Alan Seslowsky, and thanks for tuning back into RosterWatch. Each week on this video, we will take you through the risers and fallers on the RosterWatch Dynasty startup rankings found exclusively on DynastyDepot.com. First, let's talk about Damien Harris, the 23-year-old running back on the New England Patriots, currently rising up our Dynasty rankings. Our previous rank was RB40. His new current rank is RB28. Damien Harris is going to be an interesting player to monitor in the Dynasty startup draft season. He's entering year 3, having mostly disappointed from a fantasy perspective. The case against Damien Harris is that he only had 3 startable weeks in 2020, meaning he had double-digit fantasy point outputs. He only had 5 total receptions in 2020 and 3 total TDs in 2020. The case for Damien Harris is that Sony Michel appears to have lost all momentum that he built in the playoff run the Patriots had a few years ago. James White is unlikely to be back with the team this year, and Damien Harris has relatively low mileage on the tires. And most importantly, Damien Harris projects to be the Week 1 starter for the New England Patriots. After the top 24 running backs are off the board in your Dynasty startup draft, there isn't another running back that has top 12 upside as clearly as Damien Harris. RosterWatch will soon begin to integrate our rookies into our Dynasty rankings, and that will push Harris slightly further down the board, but until free agency and rookie landing spots are firm, he is a nice bet in the 8th to 10th round in your Dynasty startup draft. The next player is Nelson Agholor, the wide receiver on the Las Vegas Raiders, age 27, rising up our Dynasty rankings. Previous rank, wide receiver 85, current rank, wide receiver 65. The former first-round pick in 2015 was left for dead in fantasy football, widely considered a bust by both fantasy players and analysts alike. Agholor had a breakout season of sorts in 2020. The first month of the season, he remained mostly on waiver wires or at the end of your fantasy bench. But from week 4 to the end of the season, Agholor finished as the wide receiver 25. His ranking over that period of time was better than Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, and Tyler Lockett. Now, all of those players will undoubtedly have a richer ADP than Agholor, but he should be firmly on your radar in Dynasty startup drafts in the double-digit rounds. In the early draft season, ADP is volatile, and drafters should be encouraged to take high upside depth pieces and swings for the fences in the double-digit rounds. Reports surfaced that Nelson Agholor was a vocal leader in the locker room in Las Vegas and demanded better from his teammates. If those reports are even mildly true, this sounds exactly like the type of player head coach John Gruden is going to want to re-sign now that Nelson Agholor is a free agent. From a statistical perspective, Nelson Agholor led the Raider wide receivers in yardage and in touchdowns. When the waters get murky in your Dynasty startup draft and you need to add depth at wide receiver, it is a sharp move to be proactive and take Nelson Agholor. The final player we're going to talk about today is Gerald Everett, age 26, currently rising up the Dynasty rankings. Gerald Everett last played for the Los Angeles Rams, now heading into unrestricted free agency. Previous rank, tight end 30, current rank, tight end 22. Gerald Everett was the first ever draft pick of coach Sean McVay on the Los Angeles Rams. Everett was selected in the second round of the 2017 NFL Draft. The Rams did not have a first rounder that year, 2017, as they used that pick to move up in 2016 in order to select Jared Goff. Gerald Everett was set to become Sean McVay's new Jordan Reed, basically an athletic tight end who could dominate all over the field. Reed has shown flashes of breakout games in spurts. However, the wide passing tree on the Rams' depth chart has led Everett to be mostly inconsistent this far. At age 26, heading into unrestricted free agency, there is going to be a team that invests in Everett. If Everett hits the right landing spot, he could be a top 12 fantasy tight end based on his athleticism alone. In FFPC tight end premium leagues, the tight ends tend to get pushed up the draft board more so than in regular standard drafts. If you decide to pass up on elite tight ends early in order to gobble up all of the running back and wide receiver value, Everett is an ideal tight end 2 target that could end up in your starting lineup every week. A few optimal landing spots for Everett are Arizona, Houston, and Jacksonville. All of those teams have no clear starter at the position and project to have an excellent fantasy quarterback. Okay, RosterWatch Nation, that's it for today. Remember to like and subscribe to get notifications when we go live, and leave us a comment in the video. We will comment back. Until next time, goodbye.